This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, and watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
When you just said, the phone, the scanning, everything. Like when I went into the drag races, there's 1320 video thing out here at Iowa. Everything is digital, dude. Or unless you print it out prior. But you know, who the hell's got a printer now? And/or got printer cartridges are like $60 for one color, $60 for the other color. It's like, who the fuck's got that kind of money to use that, and then that printing, and that's it. But anyways, you get the scanner, you scan your thing. Oh, it does. I don't have reception here. Oh, I didn't have it downloaded. Oh shit! And then you're going through that. You have to restart your phone. I mean, this is just starting to get. What happened in the good old days? We used to have a nice embroidered, card or ticket or something like that, man.
Yeah, it's out of control.
It is. I mean, the internet. Oh, trust me, dude. These computers have been out of control. Remember how I was telling you back, I don't know, 10 years ago at least? I used to, I'm not going to pay this for this game. So I would hack or more or less that, get it for free, download it, get the key code. But some of them actually made you go through loopholes. Oh, dude, that's why I said I started getting used to all the crap, even with the Windows crap that comes with it. Remember how I told you for you and I to share an email, we have to do something fucking stupid?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah. It's too layered, and it's because of the deep state. And they're wanting that we've been enslaved. They want to waste our time. They want to take every dime we get. They're making it so that to pay off our debts are very difficult if they're on a credit card because of what they've done. All this is changing. It's going to take a little time.
Like you said, the accountant's getting ridiculous, dude. And you're not the only one that's having to deal with these crooked ass accountants.
They're crooked. Now I'm going to go talk to her tomorrow, lay it on the line. You gave me to be about a certain price, and you charged me like this. If you want to give me my stuff back, give it back now so I can go find somebody else, or sit there and I'll spend 2 days working on it myself. Problem is the software is so complicated. You have to go to a class to learn how to operate the software.
Lawyers made it that much.
And what we're dealing with here, because of the IRS and the tax system, I'm going to waste over $2,000 having to do my stuff. And then I'm going to burn a day of time putting everything together. All right. Then it's just too much appointment, but I got to get it done, man. I'm getting drained. And then this lady charging me like this too. I mean, like I said, I'm going to go talk to her tomorrow. But why did she charge me to copy stuff that I didn't need to be recopied? So she spent literally an hour and a half recopying this. Dude, an hour and a half. And I just wanted to do what was in the 2 envelopes, and there's hardly anything. Yeah, they're thieves. I'm sorry. And she's turning out to be a thief too.
This whole thing is crooked. The whole taxation. I know taxation without representation, but still, right now, the whole taxation situation is getting ridiculous. How could these people honestly have one job as a tax person and they could survive all year long, with just doing it once a year or 1 month out of the
year? They're about to get shut down over the next year because the taxes are going to be made so simple. Probably go to a flat tax, simple form. And that's it. There's no write-offs. You make this much, this is what you pay. Period. No, Clinton's socks. There were 6 pairs of socks that had holes. We had to throw them away. They're $80 pair each socks. Remember when Clinton got busted for writing off his socks?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't
Hillary
shock-
wrote off Bill's socks.
that doesn't surprise me. But like, this is also another bullshit. Oh yeah, not like the rest of us. You and I, we could write off $1 million yacht, Steve. Oh yeah, yeah. It needed to be redone, or we need to be taken out. Yeah. The whole thing, like you said, that's just nothing but a money laundering scheme. They used it for everything. Oh, if I go buy this house,
Well, yeah, they
I get
they
this tax
form
deduction.
the Hillarys and the rich people like that form foundations. They buy everything through the foundation. They only have to give up 3% a year to charity, and then they can tell the IRS, "Oh, I only pay myself 30,000 a year," but this foundation's worth millions.
Like, oh, by the way, guess what I heard over the last couple weeks?
What's that?
It's not going to be internal revenue service. It's going to be
Oh yeah,
external revenue service.
ERS. You know what that means?
Time to pay your tariffs, bitches.
Well, this country was built off tariffs.
Yeah.
We didn't have until the 30s. I know, or was it till World War II? We did not have federal income tax.
It was 1914 is when they turned us off the income tax.
That's when they turned it on, but we didn't really have it yet.
Oh, it didn't kick in until
Yeah.
and
I think it might even been in the 30s where it was, because I think after the Great Depression is when it came in. And the depression was caused by the central bankers anyways. Calvin Coolidge, who was the president, took his hands off everything, right? And it was already coming back. The economy was already coming back. Then they elected FDR, and he raised taxes on all the corporations super heavily, all the businesses, and the economy immediately crashed again.
they knew what it was.
Democrats, huh?
Oh, all the Democrats. It's always a Democrat. Oh, by the way, same thing with racism. Who funded it and started the KKK?
The
Democrat.
Democrats, who voted against the emancipation of black people after the Civil War to have rights. The Democrats. Who voted for it? The Republicans, and they only by one, because they had to work on a Democrat to come over to their side.
I strongly believe that's one of the main reasons why they tried to execute or did execute Abraham and tried to do the same thing to Trump.
Well, they mostly executed him because he messed with he went to the central bank to see how much a loan would cost to pay off the Civil War. They told him like 24%. Be back, and he told them to kiss his ass. So by law, the Treasury is allowed to print money. So he printed the greenbacks and paid off the debt with the greenbacks. Printed directly from our Treasury, bypassing the central bank, and they didn't like it.
We need to get back there because of this. They got too big for their britches, basically. Also,
right?
oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, while we're on that subject, do you believe in what was Abraham versus vampire situation? I mean, I know it's embellished a little bit, but do you really think that kind of shit happened back then?
Stepping out on a limb here, this is just me. I believe that there are still creatures among us that are like that. Because I've used to watch a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of in New Orleans, there was a eyewitness account, people direct contact with a scary looking being that can all of a sudden be on top of a building, come down and be right next to him and try to coerce him into going with him. Yeah, very scary. But I've heard of, we won't get into his name, but he talked about something up in the Appalachians and the big hills taking a shortcut. That story is probably from somebody else, barely escaping alive.
Someone else experience.
I believe the story, but I may not believe the source. So you know what I mean.
The storyteller.
Yeah. Because we know that a lot of stories happen, things happened, but then this person might take credit for them being in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to get off in left field. I was just wondering because I mean I know that there's vampires today because they want our blood to drink. They keep talking about it. Oh, could you guys donate more blood? And we weren't at war at that time. And
well, yeah, even during COVID, if you had the vax, you could not give blood. And they were paying for one time every week. They were paying 700. No, they bumped it to $1,000 a month. You had to go down once a week for a month. $1,000 a month they were giving you for your blood. But you had to have clean blood. But anybody vaxxed. Now, because of Hebrew, because of the stuff I see and that I watch, I ran across something. It's called Aleph Tav Body. Okay, it's a Hebrew electromagnetic system in our body. And the pictorial Hebrew is actually is represented all over our body with certain points. Kind of like acupuncture, but I'm going to get this book. I'm going to track it down, and it's really cool. And this is actually something that has been suppressed. And also come to find out too, if you got the old jabberoni, you actually cut off your frequency in connection to Yahuwah. It blocks the frequency. That's why we're watching these people change. Like my buddy Davey, man, I'm good friends with him. He's a good guy. I mean, he's a great person, but I'm watching him change. And then I'm watching everybody that's changing like this believes 100% in the mainstream media, what's left of it. And that's because frequencies, it cuts off because they don't know. They might have the DNA, but they don't have everything. And the frequency that is received through the genome, it's actually received to give it the rest of the information to continue repairing and building the body. Now, when you get that jammed, I've watched a lot of actors and actresses die this last 2 years. They're only in their 50s, 60s, handful in their 90s, but too many of them are way too young to be dying. Way too young. Like I saw a girl at the gym. She, was a cute girl, younger. And then I didn't see her there for a few months. And then I seen her one time in the last 3 months, and she got really skinny. And I remember seeing her before that happened. She had the little thing on for a jab.
yeah, it sucks that they take so many, and it's not just them. You're watching so many different athletes around the world, male, female, just dropping dead, and
the first.
I think we were actually watching that genocide part, Steve. Remember what we were talking about where if you go back to conspiracy theory bullshit, which is starting to turn into facts. If you go look at the Georgia Guidestones, where they were talking about they wanted to get down to 500,000 people,
No,
or
500 million.
500 million people.
Yeah.
And you start seeing like 1 in every 13 people would die.
You could be right. Sorry, go ahead.
You start seeing all that crap now. No, it's 500 million. I went too low because that's what they needed for to the world to survive, to get them to be fed, and all the other crap that the deep state. What I mean by them is deep state Satanists wanted, because they go by an umbrella, and it goes under a big term. I think they're all over the world, and almost every country.
Well, why do you think they just burned down L.A.? And they burned out the wealthy people. 85% of them were liberal that voted for Mr. Newsom Gruesome and Mayor Bass My Ass. Now, but they think they're going to have people come in and do what they did in Hawaii. It ain't going to happen with Trump in office. It ain't happening.
You saw that already? Like the military's already posted out there, and then they're also going, "You're not moving in. You know, you're not moving back here. You're not allowed back here." It's like, excuse me. I know it's just a small article, but it's like, are you kidding me? No, you can't tell
Yeah.
these people what to do. They've gone through so much hell living in that fucking state. I know
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
beautiful state, but what the politics have done to it is so fucked up.
Well, yeah, that's why this DEI stuff has absolutely failed. The FBI killed DEI too about a week ago. Totally killed it. Fired everybody in the department. There are other companies that totally shut down their DEI and fired everybody. The colleges with their DEI departments shut them down and fired everybody.
You know why the schools are stopping all that is because Trump says anybody that's doing the DEI shit, anybody
Yeah.
that's doing the gay shit, anybody
Oh,
that's
the
mandatory
CRT crap.
vaccine,
Yeah.
mandatory vaccine, mandatory mask, you're no more federal assistance. That's why you're seeing all this happening. Not to mention the go woke, go broke shit was stopping. And I also wonder how much of that if you go watch the Joe Rogan Experience, I only watched small clips from somebody with him and Mark Zuckerberg. I can't watch that fucking twat. Zuckerberg. Anyways, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, the Biden's administration told us to do this, and they said that we had to do it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? No, you guys, we don't like. Okay,
No, he did it because he was getting massive kickbacks on the backside from the government. I guarantee you. So why was he building? See, because they were going to do World War III. If Trump didn't get in, that's why he was building massive bunkers in Hawaii, underground bunkers. Why would you be doing that? I wouldn't be building in Hawaii, though. That's kind of, even though Hawaii is on a big chain of mountains, a lot of them aren't volcanic anymore because they moved over the rift that they were sliding over. If the tectonic theory is even true. So there's just all this stuff. When I ran across that, we'll do a show on it when I get that book. It's all the points on the body that you can use your hands to, and you can even people, he was talking about people in the process of heart attack, you can stop it. And they're thinking when Yeshua healed people and the apostles, they knew where these parts were on the body to touch them. You could be within this far, 5 inches, because our magnetic field goes out that far. And left is negative, right is positive. And each point on our body uses pictorial Hebrew.
So that I wonder, does that work throughout your entire body? Because when you're grounded, remember how that does stuff to your body, and I could feel it when I go outside. It's not a mind thing.
No, it's not. It's they're jamming. What they're doing, these frequencies are jamming the stuff from Yahuwah.
But I could download my video faster, dude, like 85,000 times faster. I can watch the next Britney Spears thing or whatever the hell the latest singer is. That's what, that's all they care about, because that's all I hear about people in public. Oh, I want to be able to download this faster. Oh, I can get a new phone, new this, new that, new that. And you're right, Steve. That's all it does is the frequencies, the Wi-Fi's, the
right. And on the body, all the points on the body with the Alotov, it's each one has a number and they're not in order. That number represents a frequency, and they know what the frequencies are now too. This has been getting studied for over 80 years and they've suppressed it. It's just now starting to surface.
I think I think because of we're switching in our air from, remember, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but remember when the Rockefellers and everybody took over the medical, and it's a pharmacia. Like I just told you, I went to the Durham Museum here locally.
Yeah.
I remember people talking to me about going into there, and you see a pharmacy, but what's actually is candy. And candy honestly used to be healthy because licorice used to be from licorice root.
Yeah.
Which helped us out with multiple different things, either stomach.
Now it's just a simulated artificial taste in that red dye. The FDA just made the red dye illegal. Just did it.
I know. You know what's wrong? Beets will do the same thing.
What's that?
Beets will do the same thing
Yeah.
color wise.
Well, that's what Canada, when they make their Fruit Loops, they use actual fruit juice. That's why they're not as rich looking, but they taste good. But you look at our Fruit Loops, man, they're all bright red, yellow, green because they're using dyes. But in Canada, they're not allowed to use those dyes. And you go to Thailand, other countries, all the chemicals in our food are out there, banned in all those countries. One of my friends read me a thing from one of the Thai stores, a can of something, read all the ingredients. You can read every one of them. You didn't need to put it in your computer to see what Latin word it meant and what it came from. Seriously, you didn't need to do that. It's all ingredients you can read. That's how food is supposed to be made. Not Maidu kukaka kapa tu kapa. What? You know, that's what it sounds. When you go to read it, that's what it sounds. It's
like something acid, or it's like citric, or you start looking all up all the scripts like.
Oh yeah, there's like 15, 20 letter long, names. You're going. That takes a whole damn alphabet to even.
What's messed up, Steve, is I'm starting to see pictures back in the 80s, before I was, able to go around shopping or shopping areas. But that our sodas, juices used to be, or some of our juices are still in glass. But that's the easiest way. You could pasteurize. You could just heat it up, suction it, and it'll be okay 5-6 years or whatever, and you're good. Oh yeah, you might break it, but hey, start paying attention, and then once you start getting all these aluminums and stuff out of your body, you'll stop dropping things. You know what I mean? Because I know I drop things, but it's after I eat certain foods. I cheat on my diet. What I mean by that is eat out, which I know it's the dumbest fucking thing, but there's some days, it, Steve, and I know it. Man, I don't want to spend 45 fucking minutes making a meal. I'm hungry. You know what I mean?
I know. The sad thing is we make all this plastic. You know what it takes? Diesel fuel, kerosene. We're using all this fuel to make this stuff in plastic, sits on the shelf for weeks or months before you get it. Don't you think you're getting that residue? You're drinking that residue? Or sitting in an aluminum can. Don't you think you're drinking aluminum?
You know what the best thing to do for that is, Steve? I think in all 50 states, maybe not so much Alaska, might be a little hard. Greenhouses. Start doing massive greenhouses, and around the bigger cities, same thing. Just start and mix it in with the farmland. I'm not saying take away from the farmland, because we need to do it natural. And then the spray thing, we got to start going back to where God came from with the spray stuff.
We need to grow things the way they were meant to be growing. We need to quit poisoning our atmosphere with aluminum chloride, barium, and very other things that are getting into our soil. And then you got San Monto. What is that?
Monsanto?
Yeah. They're making seeds to grow in those polluted soil environments.
And they're covered too with Roundup and other poisons, because my uncle showed me it when he was doing alfalfa or something over in his fields. And it's like, why would you do that? God doesn't do it naturally. And when it pops right off the tree, it's not that way. It's if a bird gets it, or an insect gets it, then they get it. I get it's trying to get the higher yield, but we gotta go back we gotta go back to our roots. What God, because remember, we reap what we sow. And we don't want to continue to have one farmer doing 80 farms. Yes, I get that. All the money, and then some people are lazy. No, there's some actually people and the families that want to go back to the farming and own their own farm and stuff like that. Like we were built. Same thing with the pigs. Not just pigs. I mean, it goes down to all the other
cattle,
livestock.
your chicken, any of your goats, all of that stuff, lamb, everything.
Take Tyson away from that and ConAgra, because they're nothing but evil corporations.
Well, you get the people up there, and I sincerely believe that they are the Nephilim bloodline descendants, because the Nephilims approached Enoch in the book of Enoch and asked and told them that we were born like this, and we're condemned because of the way we're born. And Enoch said to him, no, you were considered renowned but you chose the evil way instead of being good. You chose to be evil and destroy everything rather than using your intellect from the angels as your fathers, that because your intellect would have helped advance mankind if you were kind in moving forward, but instead you decided to destroy. That's why they are the Nephilim. That's why they are the demons when they die. Flat out, Book of Enoch says they're demons when they die because their spirit has nowhere to go.
Do you remember which chapter that was in?
No, I'll find it. Next time I'll have it.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering because I just looked over and I have the Book of Enoch playing on my other computer.
Yeah.
So it freeze.
It's when Noah petitioned Yahuwah and said, what these demons are bothering my grandchildren. Can we get rid of them? And that's where it's at.
What was that thing you were telling me yesterday about Trump's inauguration? Than the
on
the
the inauguration. Well, to start out, I was listening, to I gotta write down names sometimes here.
Don't tell me doom and gloom, the X-22 guy.
No. This was from what's his name? It'll come to me in a minute. He got fired from Fox News.
Dan
Huh?
Bongino?
No, the other guy. He is pretty big. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
This came from Tucker Carlson when he was interviewing somebody. And it turns out these drones are electrogravitivic because we have that too. But somehow the Chinese ended up with the technology.
Hillary.
Yeah, server in a bathroom up in the ceiling. Yeah. Anyways, the military tracked the signal, went to a satellite. They destroyed the satellite. That's why the drone stopped. Okay. Now they're worried. Now the company that builds the drones they automatically in their software, anywhere there's a restriction, airport, restricted area, it's built into the software. So you can't even fly in there if you want to. The drone will stop. Guess what they did 2 weeks ago? They removed all those restrictions from the zone because one of the congressmen were coming in and they had to divert the flight around DC because there was drones in the way. These drones were flying in restricted airspace around DC. So Bongino, he had a concern that they can use these drones as weapons and crash into the Capitol building or whatever they're going to do and try to get Trump. Okay, that's what they're concerned with. But I think they're ahead of this. That's why we have Space Force. Okay, what's probably going to happen, I don't know, man. I had this, maybe I'll just say it. Back in 2020, COVID, and I was reading Book of Chronicles, I got a vision. All of a sudden, strong winds blew into DC, hurricane strong winds, and everything turned red, and all the leaves and branches, all the dead branches were getting blown away. And then lightning struck the George Washington Monument because it's a representation of something else. But this is a perfect example. Trump coming in, the red wave is coming in, and it's neutralizing all the anti-American Democrats. Okay, I'll put it that way. They're being neutralized and removed. And it could be because there's been times when Washington, D.C. was being attacked itself. They were trying to burn it down. They did burn down the White House, but a hurricane all of a sudden showed up, put out almost all the fires, and literally blew the British out of town. Literally. Divine intervention. There's also some other stories of extremely divine interventions also. Because God does do that. Because not Nebuchadnezzar, oh boy. I need to write down names and I'll remember them. Just like Jerusalem was saved by the Lord because what was that king's name? He was conquering all of Israel when he got to Jerusalem. Nimrod. King Nimrod had his army outside Jerusalem, 186,000 men. So, because Jerusalem is the place that the Messiah will show up, he spared Jerusalem. And the angels went and killed 186,000 warriors out there, men. So his whole army was laid to waste in the front of Jerusalem. They packed up and they went home. What was left? So the same thing here. We're being protected. Just like President Trump turning his head specific right at the right moment. Right at the right moment. Then the guy at the golf course in the tree was going to take him out. He got caught. Come to find out, there were 2 or 3 attempts on Jimmy Carter when Trump was at Jimmy Carter's funeral. They didn't talk about it. They caught like 3 or 4 people bringing weapons in.
It's because it's one of them. They don't talk about it. It's one of them. Just like the shooters. They've been trying to do these mass shootings constantly to take our weapon. Oh, see? And most of those guys, you look at it, they're on psychiatric medicine, and they also have a therapist. It's almost like every one of them have that same reoccurring theme.
They're Mark Ultras, man. They're Mark Ultras. I'm telling you, they are. And there are Mark Ultras for the white hats, and there's ones for the bad guys with the black hats.
All the music out there, not to mention, like I said, with the therapist could sit there and just keep saying something repeatedly, or you're right, something could be lined up. But yes, it is just getting ridiculous. But with the other part is, I wouldn't even have them. They're saying that they're going to walk him, but I'm watching something from 2 or 3 days ago. They're going to walk him from the Capitol or over to the White House. It's like, no, I wouldn't even do that. Walk underneath the tunnel.
Yeah, I think they canceled that.
Did they?
Yeah.
They were claiming about cold because Mom was trying to figure out why are we in Arctic freezing right now.
Right. And right after the inauguration, the next day, right here, right now, it's like in the negatives. I only like -7 degrees outside right now. I got to run my heater. I had to shut it down tomorrow for 3 or 4 hours, my pellet stove, to clean it out, then restart it again. Then I have to leave it low, just enough to keep it above 35, 40 degrees, but that's all. And if I crank it up, it'll get warmer, but it's so cold in there. The cold is permanent. It has actually, this cold is a penetrating cold. There's something about it. It's like it's heavy and it goes through everything. Right now, my heater in my house is running its butt off too. I just had that expensive refill, all this stuff. And then I put gas in the car from Walmart the other day. I use 91. It works okay. It was 3 weeks ago. It was $2.90. Now it's up to $3.29, I think.
OPEC.
All because Biden said, now what's weird is how come when they, you can't drill or explore out here, all of a sudden the gas goes up. But yet, you can drill, do this, then it takes forever to go down.
Yeah, I think that shit's stopping. I don't know if I told you, but there's a oil drilling rig coming from or going around Africa. That was about 5 days ago, going around Africa out of the, that area, not Africa, but, Middle East.
Down around the bottom of Africa.
Yeah, coming into the Gulf of America, getting ready to drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, because when Biden and them and Obama were in there, a lot of the rigs they sent to other countries. And then come to find out, listen to Mike Johnson. He was talking to, it just came out yesterday. He was talking to Biden, said, why did you shut down our LNG exports, natural gas? He goes, I didn't. What I signed was just to do more research. He goes, no, what you signed shut it down. And that's a perfect example. All this time, he hasn't been doing nothing. people behind the scenes have been, he thought he really legitimately believed that he signed LNP research.
This whole thing is all fucked up. I mean, I know that all of the EOs are going to be reversed, not just from him, but past presidents. I can't wait for all the children for the first human trafficking to start.
Oh yeah,
And having him go after all of this.
340,000 children. Quite frankly, a lot of them aren't with us anymore. And I sincerely believe a lot of them are off world as slaves.
That's another thing we need to start doing. Because one, I don't know if he was talking about it now, but 8 months ago, a year ago, he was saying we're going to start paying couples to start having kids. You know, start to get the breeding going more,
Right.
to get the population up. Because what's happened? Not just that, like we just talked about earlier with the shot. And then not to mention you got violence going on. You got all these, you know, like Laken Riley and others that came in and got killed. And there's other people that got killed like that without even getting news.
There's a lot of people that died, a lot, hundreds, maybe even thousands that were murdered by these animals. I saw the other day a little 12-year-old girl was raped by two Venezuelan gang members under a bridge for 2 hours, and then they killed her.
Think about the bloodlines that are dying off, because I was thinking about that myself of, you know, my age and you know of what's going on with my life. And it's like I'm up at a certain age, don't have kids or anything. I want to, but with all the crazy shit going on, it's hard to find a stable girlfriend. And or if there is a girlfriend, you don't want to get one of those that have been run through by 1,000 guys like that sick bitch did. But you know what I mean? But that's what I'm talking about, is that you start looking at, oh well, the bloodlines are going down.
You know, but remember this though, people can repent and they can change.
Oh, I get that. Oh, okay. I know.
And there will be a movement's coming, because a lot of the conservative women and the feminist Nazi pink-haired, whatever they are, they're fading out. Because in Washington, D.C., they would never pull back and show the demonstration of them. They're always right in the middle of the crowd. But then I heard the crowd for the conservative side took DC over.
Oh yeah, it's in the movie I made for about what was it? On God or DC?
Yeah.
Ungodly or something or I don't know. I'll think of the title. I'll put it down at the bottom. But anyways, you talked to that guy from the hotel there on January 6th, and he said he was there for Obama's thing, and people were just chanting, which we don't know if there were people. They could have brought them all up from the dumbs and stuff, and he said the thing was completely full. So it could have been people off world and stuff like that chanting that they put, just like the Simpsons were trying to put out there, not predict, but have us with our projection make of where
Right.
You know, they took off the mask and both of them were aliens. And when we talk about Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Obama, you know, there's some darkness with that shit too. Same thing with Michael Robinson, who's not going to the inauguration, by the way.
Right. When Xi Jinping told Trump that it's too risky to go, then you have Obumster not going, Michael's not going, aka Michelle. Oh, Michelle. Come here, boy. Anyways, and then you have Pelosi not going, and there's various others not going.
AOC, yeah.
Yeah, well, she's a retard, man.
She's irrelevant, I know, but what I'm getting, you know, just that's the other one I could think of. But you're right, all these are irrelevant individuals, and a lot of them honestly need to go and pay. Nadler, the pencil neck, even let's go back to the Hitlery and Podesta emails and stuff like that, the pizza parties and all this shit. Yeah, they need to go away. Whether they need to go meet God right now or go sit down and get.
We all need to do what Trump said. As much as we would like people like the rat bastard Fauci, people like him, put your mask on. I'm a doctor. But never mind. But, you know, but let them go through the trials. And if they receive a death penalty, what Yahuwah will do to them if they haven't repented by then, his vengeance is his. Vengeance is his. I mean, you can execute somebody, and well, yeah, but what he's going to do to them is beyond what we can conceive of.
Yeah, you don't want to start thinking about it because then you start getting in their world.
Right.
Whatever he's going to do is, his, whether he, I don't even want to, like I said, start contemplating about it. But yes, you're right. And he even warns us. He says, vengeance is mine. So
Yeah, he says it. In anyone that brings harm onto these little ones, it'd be better yet they be not yet born, or they cast themselves into the sea with a millstone around their neck.
Yep. Oh, speaking about that, by the way, I seen the Bullens, or who's that guy that shot the actor in the face and pretended it was a fake gun? Baldwin, right?
Oh, yeah, I know who. Yeah,
not Alec, but his family is one of the Baldwins are sitting out there saying stuff about Angel Studios, which I agree they need to repent because no graven image. I know everybody loves The Chosen. You're not supposed to be, recording. And then that they put that man, whoever I don't forgot Jim Caviezel or whoever's playing Jesus.
No, it's not. It's the other guy.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking about. The other guy that they're doing is Jesus. They're putting him up. This guy's Jesus. Oh, no graven image.
Well,
that's where I think
yeah,
it's coming from.
And they have him on commercials like he's Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at least the other guy that played the Passion of the Christ, he is a humble man and he is a believer, very much so. It was how do you say his name?
Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, yeah, no engraven images. That means no cross, nothing. You don't even have a steeple on the building. Revelations tells us not to even have a steeple on the building. Period.
There's energies with that too.
Yeah, there is.
Honor you that was talking about that we're eventually going to start taking it. Oh, by the way, I started finding out some of the bells were actually bad energies. That's why we actually tore them down and buried them back in the day, and they want to try to bring the bells back.
Well, were they?
Yeah, I
Where'd
forgot.
you find this at?
I have it downloaded. There was some sort, those guys that do the scientists basically did
Oh
something.
yeah, if they take and see what frequency they're actually different size bells are going to do different things. It probably depends what area they were in.
Yeah, and then remember the shafts back then. Or not the shafts, but like you said, the steeples and all that were made out of copper and brass and other things.
A lot of them were designed actually with a frequency they would pull in the ether for power. And that's how they would power stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of old churches. Yeah, I know. I started going down that rabbit hole a little bit, but yes, it is. I just didn't know if you knew anything about the Angel Studios or started hearing about that. Cause I was like, he started intriguing me. He's like, well, you guys need to start doing something. I was like, okay, now if he's talking about what do they really mean? Don't tell me they're into fucking child, stuff, like
I don't think Angel
Studios is
into any of that, but because they really don't understand the scripture, they're doing things that are unscriptural. People don't realize the image of a cross is an engraven image.
Yeah.
Besides, Yeshua was not hung on a cross. He was hung on a stake, a post. They changed all of that. It was actually a post. Because when Yeshua said, take up your crosses and follow me, he actually meant take up your fence post and follow me. When you take up a fence post, your fence falls down. Now come and learn the right way. Come out of there. Learn from me the correct way, the way we were intended to learn. Because the Sadducees, the Pharisees, they were set up in a hierarchy like the Nicolaitans. God hates that. A hierarchy, like you got the preacher, the elders, like this. Well, he hates that. It should be like this. The preacher, the elders, and they're working hard to serve everybody. not to be, oh, I'm this. No, it doesn't work that way. That's because I believe Paul and them spoke out against that when they talked about I think it's the Nicolaitans, because that's how they did stuff. And that's what we have in the churches today. They have that hierarchy like that. Well, the minister is not your king. The elders are not your overseers. They're your servants. In the kingdom of heaven, you're the servant. If you're your hierarchy, you are a servant to help others. Look at Yeshua. Yahuwah became flesh and he served everybody. He saved us.
We learned where all the churches were in 2020 when all this stuff started happening. They tried to do the pandemic and the shutdowns and everything like that. The churches didn't have their doors open. They weren't helping people paying their bills when they couldn't go to work because they refused to jab because
no, they weren't.
They have all this money saved up, man. I remember when I went to church, and they should have had all the money saved up. Remember in World War II, they were letting people stay there and when they were bombed out and stuff, and they were feeding them and sheltering them. None of that stuff happened now. I mean, okay, I'm not saying every church out there. I can't speak for everyone across the country, but a lot of them, even mega churches.
Well, I used to go to a church that I've been a type that since about 80, 84, 85. Okay. And biblically, they seem to be pretty much on track. What I knew at that time biblically. During COVID, they're all wearing masks. They're all spread way apart on the pew. I go in there without a mask on, look around at everybody, and they're all staring at me. And then one guy lifted, oh, go ahead and sit over here. You can, we had to be like 6 feet away. And then the preacher was up there talking about watching Netflix when Netflix was engaged in child pornography at the time.
Still is. They just
and he read Chronicles chapter 10. And then I went home that day and I go, Lord, why did you have me go there? And then so I said, okay, I'll sit down and read Chronicles chapter 10. And I learned a lot, and that's when I got the vision I told you about of Washington, D.C. And it also did other things too. We can discuss later, but that's when I got a vision. It was like 3 seconds long, but that was the vision I got. And that's what's happening in D.C. right now. And there'll be much more exposure. People are going to be so dumbfounded. Because remember, you have people that are like normal. Then you have the second stage. People are like kind of awake under. Then you have the 1%ers that have a pretty good grasp on all the crap that's going on. But the 1%ers are growing. Not the 1%ers like the Hells Angels. The 1%ers that are aware of really and then we've known for years what's been going on. And it's been very difficult in wearing, and people call you crazy and nuts. But you know what? Now, who are the crazy ones?
The ones that think that the celebrities are so full of information, and so are these scientists and experts they bring in. And I mean, it's so pathetic. Like you talked about before, I didn't know. You mentioned Dan Bongino earlier. I didn't know he didn't retire. He actually said, I quit. I'm resigning. I can't deal with any of this corruption anymore. Which is wrong, and it sucks. He should be brought back for somehow to get.
Well, isn't he going back? I thought he got tapped as head of Secret Service.
No, someone else got it. But I don't know. He said he has to go away for some personal reason for a little bit, or not go away, but he's not doing the radio shows or some stuff like that for a while.
That's because he got tapped to work in the Secret Service.
I hope so, because I mean,
he's going to be Trump's middleman that's going to keep an eye on stuff. Because he's got to have people in there he can trust. The Secret Service has got people in there right now you cannot trust.
Oh yeah, not the head assholes, and that's what's wrong with this. Same thing with your militaries. You know as well as others, you have people ahead of you, and some of them are some of the elite, or not elite, but the satanic Masonic people that they did the handshake stuff where you're not going any further because you're not in their club. You're not willing to go put yourself out there, deal kids or whatever it is that they try to honeypot you or whatever way they can get leverage over you to where you can go rank yourself up.
Right.
It's and I've been happening for a while. Not to mention, I saw some of that shit happening here at Offutt, which I don't know what the fuck's going on. I know we're at war, but there's no way that you should have made us check twice, or at least put us in the same line as the other. Not to mention, why the fuck would you put three United States citizen, non-U.S. citizen, and DOD card holder? You motherfucker! What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
One of those lines should not exist.
All those people that set that up are going to be gone.
And then the same one, Steve. On this side, when you go to an air show, this side of the fence line means everything everybody can take pictures of. You put your hands on, a minimum. You don't sit there and go, oh, look, here's the tires. And, you fuck around with it a lot. Sometimes I like to knock on things and know what's made out of.
Oh, actually touch the material. Yeah.
Yeah. Just go, hey, what the fuck's it made of? You see it constantly. But anyways, the thing on this side of the rope, you're going to get pictures taken of, guys. Get used to it. If you don't want to take a picture of, put it on the other side. Not to mention, remember the Gestapo. I don't give a fuck, dude. It was August is when it happened. I'm still got a bone to pick with those assholes.
Oh, I know.
They work for me, not the other way around.
They were getting on your case about taking pictures of the inside of an antique airplane.
Yeah, but
should have been retired a long freaking time ago.
Honestly, dude, all this should be retired. And I just looked up. Remember your X70 or XB70? You told me.
Yeah, the XB70.
It's the fucking Concorde. I didn't know that. Or, it's like the Concorde. We could have had so much shit, but
they had that. Well, they scrapped it, but there was an accident. One of the fighters took off the edge of the wing, and it destroyed one of them. But before that, they were flying like those things were like, we're talking SR-72 speeds. They were close to that.
They took it away from us, dude. We could have had that.
They did. Just like there's other aircraft. In 1942, on the drawing board was a supersonic fighter jet with afterburners. And this was supersonic. And you know what? General said, no, you can't build it. Because it would have ended the war. The frickin' industrial complex wanted to make money and drag that war out. That's why this Ukraine stuff, they're murdering hundreds of thousands of people for the sake of the almighty dollar. How do you, as a corporate head and as a senator and congressman or whoever, can go to bed at night knowing that people are out there dying because we're fighting senseless wars?
Yeah, because they know it's senseless. Here's how it's senseless. They bring the CIA or other one of, not just ours, but British has the same thing, MI5, MI6. And they go over there, they start war. They would bring, they would basically bring up one of their corrupt people, political people, all the way up through or government, or not government, but I meant military. Bring them up through the ranks and get them to do whatever they need them to do. Whether it's, hey, let's clear this area to where our CIA, company can come in here and drill or go get this resource or whatever. Right. So they go in there and they install their puppet in that government, and then it just snowballs. And then they go,
basically all Nigerian. They're all trained. And they put him in, just like Obama. He's a smooth talker. He was trained to probably speak that way. The dude was born in Kenya. I watched the video of the mayor saying Obama was born in Kenya. He became president of the United States. His grandmother brought it up too. She died on the operating table within a few days after saying that. How come they won't release the man's college credentials? He didn't sit in class. He sat in the CIA class learning how to talk. And then they wanted to destroy us as soon as Michelle got in there. Here comes transgender all of a sudden. Why would you think that is? What about all the pictures of them online? Michelle, Michael, and him in a canoe. The dude was a man.
Oh, I know. And then not to mention not one pregnancy picture of
No.
Michael Robinson.
And where are their kids now? Why don't you ever hear about their kids now?
Yeah. Oh, they're married. They got kids. They moved away. You know, yeah, you're right. They went back to their family, or they went back to their parents.
They went to their real family. They were on borrow while Obama and them were in the White House.
And in order for this not to get blown up, I would have to say these guys have to be a part of that a part of those families too. You know, the family got not just paid off, because if you got paid off, you're not going to sit there and go, you know what? Actually, what did they do to you again? You know, what did those men do to you girls? You know, and then you might want to go talk. No, they would have to be a part of that. Remember the club where they swear, they say, or oath or whatever the fuck they do.
Oh, your oath.
You would slice their throat or their tongue out or something like that before they would ever talk.
And then you go after their family if they do, them, their family. Yeah. So they won't talk.
They make examples out of people. They basically bring their butchers and torture people in to do that. Use glass. But it sucks when you go out to there. When you go outside, then you're right, you're gonna have to use stainless steel or something, which is not bad. But guess what? The lids are they did it intentionally. Instead of the lids being aluminum or something like that, guess what? They're plastic. And guess what? The greatest plastic out there, number 5. It's like it's not even food grade, you fuckers. What the hell does he have? I only knew
a Dodge. It's a dually Dodge, but it's not a 4-wheel drive.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, in Texas, you really don't need 4-wheel drives.
Oh, I know. It actually saves too, because I didn't know this. The people were talking about if you go buy a truck, you save on a 2-wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive. You know, that I mean, the price just jumps up tremendously. And they're like I told you last time we talked was 187 Customs did the same thing. They will go out and go buy a 2-wheel. And then they said it's cheaper to go buy a transfer case and build it yourself that way and put it in, because everything's made up the same way.
It depends. Right now, though, trucks, the Dodge trucks are going to be discounted probably about 50%.
Is it because what happened with the wokeist? Oh, by the way, are you a Dodge?
Yeah, it's all a chain reaction with the economy, the wokeism, the EV cars that European Stellantis crudball, you know, he's like the Harley Davidson CEO. He tried destroying the company, but it's coming back around. And now they don't even want to sell any of the EV cars they built because they're so crappy.
Oh, and we talked about this before, where the EV could be so amazing. And I just saw one this weekend from 1905, but the battery containment, you know, we could be using hemp or other sustainable electricity, you know, batteries that could
they used nickel batteries back then, and they seemed, if we would have kept using stuff, the EV cars would be instantly charged and very, very good. In fact, they've suppressed battery technology because the last 3 years I've been actually seeing batteries with research on cars. Literally takes 2 to 5 minutes to charge them, and they'll go over 600 miles. But are they going to let that out? No, because the deep state, the globalists, want to confine us to small areas, because you only have a car that really only has a 250-mile range. You're going to have a hard time even driving up in the mountains. You're going to have a hard time going to another state.
Especially when it drops like this time of year, dude. Like yesterday, it was brutally chilly, not as cold as it was today, but passing out of Durham, there was a Tesla back, and I go, oh, come on, Tesla, turn off your light. Oh, I'm surprised you're even driving with it being this cold.
They lose the lady I talked to. They're supposed to have a 400-mile range when they get down to these temperatures, about 250, maybe 250 at best in the cold weather.
Is that one thing you want to watch disappear, Steve? Because we could always carry gasoline with us. Those Teslas can't carry an extra thing unless you want to put a trailer hitch on the back and get a diesel
Oh, that's what a guy
generator.
had in California pull out his Honda generator out of the trunk to charge his car.
But
Then
they,
during the fire, all these cars, they were stuck.
Mhm.
If you didn't have your car fully charged, you better go hop in the old gas car and leave the Tesla in the garage to burn with everything else.
That's the same thing, I believe, as with our cell phones. I mean, I know there's a lot of gas cars like the Jeeps and stuff like that, where I saw people were taking over the steering wheel because they have the fly-by-wire or drive-by-wire steering wheel and steering instead of the column. But
Yeah.
then the more you have computers into it, the more the people can hack, or the evil ones can hack into it and do other things to it. And like you just said, just like our credit cards, and just like those Teslas, they could shut you off and stop you right there. And whatever possessions you had in your car, you're screwed. You're on foot. And it's worse because with 80-mile-an-hour winds and those way that they were accelerating those fires and all that stuff that was on it was, basically it's just a death sentence. They want us in 15-minute cities. They want us to.
Their plan was to burn down the cities. Why else would the water department there, another DEI lady, makes 250,000 a year is what she made. And yet she goes and empties out a 117 million gallon reservoir for a tear in the cover. And it's been since last February, it was emptied out. That is on purpose. And why are all the insurance companies pulled out a month ago, 2 weeks ago, before the fire? Why did DeGeneres leave? Seriously.
No, you're right.
Why did all these people leave? And now some houses did survive because you can't build houses out of fire-resistant materials.
Hemp, it's resistant up to a 900 degree, but you're talking about with those things, it would light up. But you could mix. I guarantee you, somebody can mix up something in an engineering department and make it to where it goes to 1200 or 1400.
Well, you know what?
Go
I've
ahead.
seen cases where engineers would have their houses built. Their house is the only house left in the neighborhood and it's singed, but it's still standing perfectly fine. Another guy I was listening to, he actually took and ran sprinkler systems, pipes up around his roof eaves and over his roof. So before they left, they emptied a giant pool. They pumped all the water and soaked everything around the house. And his house was still standing when they got back because they soaked the house with the sprinkler system that they used from the water. They emptied the pool water to do it with.
That's smart.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
a few other people did that too. That's why you see a few houses just standing, that they put a sprinkler system on the house itself. Which, when they're building a house in a fire-prone area, wouldn't it make sense as a code you need to put a external water system on the house in case of a fire?
Yep.
Seriously.
Oh, I agree. It should be. It's just the same way as, the southern states don't have to worry about all the stuff that you and I have to worry. Not you and I, but areas we live. We have to worry about the salt. We have to worry about the plows. We got to worry about, all the other stuff that comes with it. How to remove it. The dump trucks. All the other accessories that come with that, and the stuff that tears up the roads and all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just
they don't have to worry about that. Like I said, we have different codes where we have to deal with, roofs are tied in that way, or Florida has to deal with where they have to tie in their joists is a little harder because they deal with 150-mile-an-hour winds.
Well, actually, they should be I-beamed around the house and have hooks. And then on the ground, you have concrete stuff down on the ground, lift the hook up, cable down the corners of your roof.
Yep.
Generally, if you do that, the roof ain't going anywhere.
Oh, no, I saw someone do that. They put straps on their roof when they, of the last hurricane that came through Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of funny looking, but they did rebar. I don't know if they did the rebars, like
well,
this.
You could actually use the big straps on, you can just throw them over your roof if it's a single-story house, tie downs on a semi-flatbed, and then hook them to concrete hooks down in the ground, and then you can cinch them down, and you can put 4 or 5 of them across your roof. It's a good chance it'll stay down.
Oh, I know. I was thinking about, oh, it might be nice to go down to Florida because I could grow right now still, or but
Yeah.
if we get the thermostat or the what you talk about, Steve, where I could do a decent sized greenhouse when they stop with this making this plexiglass fucking retarded as a sneeze guard, that's what caused the prices to go up. A 4x4
I
sheet
know.
used to be
That
$10.
is so idiotic.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Really? You think we're that stupid? Some people are. Some people are still wearing their masks.
I mentioned something. Every time I pass by him, I mention something. I go, man, fresh air, or I cough. It depends. Depends on how I feel. Sometimes I cough because I just get tired of it because they keep buying it. Good for them. They can continue with the brain shit, but I don't want them to because it gives more people. Oh, someone else will wear them. Someone else will wear them. So then we get back into this what they're trying to do now, the monkeypox or the multipox or whatever.
Oh no, the bird flu, the H1N1. Oh, yeah. We already have a vaccine for that. Everybody should get the vaccine. One person caught it somewhere down south and passed away in the whole country. How many people die from the flu every year? That's going to be the new N1. That's going to be the new bird flu. Oh, yeah, everybody's dying. Oh, they got the flu. You notice how the flu disappeared when COVID showed up?
Got scared.
No flu. Yeah, I got scared off. I told one of my friends, that's because we're all wearing masks. I go, that mask isn't going to stop a virus.
It'll cause some other things instead of that, but
yeah, you're poisoning yourself with your own crap.
You can go.
You're designed to not go.
But what I was talking about was the putting that warming pipe under there to where I could still grow or the worms is basically what activates most of the soil and the compost, and you can still grow year round. Because I would compensate. I don't know what I would do about hiding the lights, but I would have the lights, go to summer hours like I do inside.
Yeah, but you could do other things to generate low. You don't need much power in a greenhouse to keep it like that. I mean, if I ever did move to where I want to move to, I was going to buy a backhoe and I was going to put geothermal in with a heat pump.
That's what
that would cool and heat the house. You could do the same thing with the garden all year round. That garden's going to be sitting at 60 degrees inside without a problem. And if you wanted to add a little bit of heat, wouldn't take much.
Yeah, because I need to start protecting my shit from the deer. I can't. Well, maybe coming up, I could start affording fencing, but I can't afford fencing to go around all 9 of my trees and the holes to get these fucking deer out. I mean, they're irritating me. I would love to shoot a deer. I could safely shoot a deer here at home and stuff. I know I have people down there in the valley. I can turn to where it goes directly down. But anyways,
well, then you drag it in your garage and you gut it, and then you got a lot of meat.
I prefer to gut it outside and then let the hawks, like what I don't want the liver, the heart, throw it outside, the intestines outside, let I don't know if raccoons eat it, but we got a lot of critters around here that would eat it. Foxes.
Oh, it'd be gone.
But
it would be gone. Oh, I have whole herds the herds are getting big out here. The deer, they're getting big.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's trying to do anything about the pronghorns out there.
The what?
They're getting big. The pronghorns. I don't know if you see them much in your area, but I saw them when I was out there. Huh. The deer that look like are not. Well, they're
they're like the antelope looking things. Yeah. They're actually from the giraffe family, whatever they are. But they're antelope basically. Yeah, they're all over the place out here. I haven't seen as many as I used to see.
Maybe they are eating them.
It could be, man. The other stuff I have copies of. I have them in the software. They're saved. They're saved to the grand thing in the sky, the cloud. So
Oh, that was
The
hilarious
cloud
watching.
knows.
It was hilarious watching who what Harris. Someone asked her, "What Harris? What is the cloud?" And she's come up with all sorts of stupid shit. You know why? Nvidia and others, what they're doing now is instead of just saying, "Okay, you buy a video card, and then we're going to support that by letting you update your system with it."
Mm-hmm.
Now, instead of updating and getting the latest and greatest or fast computer, you can have a slow ass computer as long as you got a decent internet connection. We'll stream it for you on our servers like it's playing on your computer, but you're just, playing it on the internet. There might be a small delay. I don't know. And then, you pay us once a month. You know what I mean? Just to use our
So yeah,
servers.
they're just making it so they can gouge more money out of you. And Tesla's finally coming out with his phone that talks directly to Starlink anywhere in the world, and they don't charge you out of country fees, nothing. And the phone is only $350, and it outperforms these phones for over $1,000.
But I also want to know about here's the important thing to me is the camera. I want to be able to actually replace my big camera and, because these fucking things, we know that they can have the capability of zooming in.
Well, yeah, if you zoom into the moon, you're more likely, if you're seeing stuff, you're seeing AI. Say, like this one, this is a newer phone. I mean, it's like a year, maybe 2 years old, but my G5, it worked great. It had a better picture, better video, everything. It only had one lens. It didn't have three.
And they keep doing this. They keep bringing out, oh, well, this one's better than the last one. And then Apple's getting the part of being greedy to where they're saying, all right, guys, no one's updating our phones. All right, we're going to start discontinuing this model, this model, this model.
Oh, yeah, it won't run.
Yeah. And it's wrong. Microsoft is doing the same shit. I loved Windows 7. Nope, they took that out.
No, my dad, he runs Windows 7. He says the other day, I got to get rid of it, though. It's no longer going to be operational.
Oh, I don't care about that. It's just they wouldn't let me buy it. They wouldn't let me buy it.
It's done. They're not going to support it. And if you try to go online with it, it probably won't work anymore.
That's what happens. Every time I did, I would have to reinstall the Windows system I had because they wouldn't sell me a key card, and I didn't want to go to Windows 9 at that time. And then Windows 10 came out. I was like, "Fuck it, I am gonna pay." And yeah, I mean, I'm not. Then they're talking about the same thing with this. You finally get used to it. Okay, this is kind of like Windows 7. Like it doesn't have all the bullshit with it. Remember the 9, if you clicked on the Windows part, then it brought you up to some tabs and tablets, and it's like, no, give me the regular shit, and then I can customize it myself. The regular Windows screen, customize it myself. Like you said, some of this stuff is nice because there is so much the Windows part where you can do different things with it, run different virtual windows or edit it or customize it as you can't to other Windows system or other operating systems. But it does get out of hand, like we talked about before.
Well, yeah, it's like when I went to download the NordVPN. It was trying. I got Firefox. I got to get rid of it. It downloaded Firefox. Then I wanted to download some other stuff. And it was like, so now I got to get rid of Firefox because it's on the system. It's there and I don't want it.
That's another thing, Steve, I've warned Dad about, but I forgot to tell you, or I haven't told you, was when you download shit like that, you got to watch out instead of next, because like we used to back in the day, instead of, oh, I don't want to read that bullshit. No, what they're doing is they're hiding programs in there just like that. That stuff. I mean, I have to go back when that did happen. I had to go back to my uninstall stuff and go back and find out what it installed.
Well, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's like on my phone when I went to go down to T-Mobile, I said, you guys used to have techs in your office here. Oh, we don't have those. We just send the phones in now and replace them. I said, all my phone needs is to be plugged into and cleaned out. That's all it needs, and it'll run fine. Oh, well, we can't do that. We have to order another phone. So it's planned obsolescence because all the junk. I am looking at my NordVPN. Let me look at it here again here real quick. Oh, I can look at it on my my other machine. Okay, so on my NordVPN, on ads and trackers, in the last less than a week, it has blocked 784 trackers. That's crazy. That means those trackers are in your system. And over time, what do? They slow you down. Plus, you're getting the hell spied out of you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why I use the VPN, but I don't think the VPN's working much anymore.
Well, mine's brand new and it's got a lot. I just re-downloaded. It's good up to 10 machines.
Yeah.
And it works really well. I mean, at first it was kind of, but everything's sped back up now that everything's settled in. I got to go out and get rid of Firefox, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, this VPN, like I said, it used to work 4 years ago. Like what I mean by that is,
you're out of time on it. Did you update it lately?
Yeah. Oh no, I updated it, and what happened?
New update?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's automatic payment, or we did that stupid thing where it pays it for 5 years. You remember how everybody was doing those promotions of the VPNs?
Yeah.
I got one of those, and like I said, oh man, you just became blurry. Anyway, I would turn on the VPN before, and then I would go to my weather app, and then I would go inside weather, and it would tell me, okay, you're in the country wherever it would be on the VPN. Now it goes, oh, here you are, ha ha ha. It's like they're just basically going right past the VPN.
Yeah.